So I was feeling really shameful one day, like I had just ate a donut. It was just so sad, and I just thought about how much I shame myself about every single thing. And so I tweeted, I need to stop shaming myself, and it made me want to talk about it. And so I wanted to hear from other Black women on how they're feeling, and in this episode you also hear from a therapist so that you can get their perspective too, because shame comes from somewhere, but I'm gonna let her define that for you.
Shame for me is robbing myself of joy. It's wrapped up in trying to be perfect or be what other people want me to be and not living out the things that I want to do, and trying to conform to other people's wishes for me.
I would describe shame for me as allowing mistakes, allowing bad experiences, allowing missed opportunities, allowing negative opinions of myself or opinions from other people to make me question who I am, what I'm about, and what my purpose is.
Shame for me feels like a box with a lot of tiny little holes that you can see out of, and you don't fully know what's going on. You know something's going on and you don't know how to get out there where the things are happening. That's what shame feels like for me, a prison almost.
Shame is this just inherent sense of being flawed, feeling flawed, being inadequate in our world, in our experiences. So it's one of our kind of basic or kind of rooted emotions, and it's just there. It's across all cultures. It's not something that's nuanced in any way, but it's something that we absolutely do need to learn how to manage.
I think shame is a mixture of what other people think we should be, what we think we should be, what we want to be, and where we're not. I think it's a mixture of all these different things, and it's like, okay, I'm doing this, but that's not good enough. This person says I should do this, but I don't want to do that. This is where I want to be, but I'm not there yet. And so all those different emotions and things like that come from all those different areas. So I think it's like a widespread thing, and you have to be able to filter through, okay, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense. This isn't true to me, this is what I want. I don't have it yet, but that's okay. I'm getting there.
The shame just comes from a sense of being inadequate in the world. It comes from a sense of thinking or having this kind of flawed belief that other people do things better than us, other people do things the right way, and I inherently, there is something wrong with me.
Okay.
That is a thought process that kind of spins through our minds, and that is rooted in shame. And there's a difference between kind of shame and guilt. Guilt is more so I've done something wrong, versus shame says I am wrong, I am flawed, I am bad.
Thank y'all for here today. Really excited to talk about shame. And when Kayla and I, when my associate producer, we were talking about like, what are we gonna ask? One of the questions she brought up was, you know, the difference between shame, guilt, and regret. Like, are they related? Like, what do you think?
I think one can roll into the other. So something I struggle with like now is like mom guilt, because I am a mom of a 10-year-old son, but I had him, in my opinion, in my life, a little bit younger. So like I hadn't started my career or anything yet. I was kind of like, I was basically homeless like when I got pregnant. So so pretty much I had to have a fire lit up under me to get things done. So there were portions of his life that like I wasn't as active, or I wasn't involved, or I wasn't doing the things that I thought a mom should do. And so I get very sensitive when someone critiques me about being a mom. Like it is a button. Mm-hmm. And it's because I still feel guilt. And then I feel ashamed because like, oh, he doesn't have the stuff his counterparts have. And then I feel regret because I'm like, God, if I just would have waited or been smarter or whatever. So I still deal with that. And they're all related and they're all relatable feelings, but one may start and then roll into the next one. I feel like it's like a snowball effect.
I think now that I've gotten older, when I think back like over my life and I think about my relationships, I realize I kind of struggled and had shame with like my relationships with women. In terms of friendships, like I'm someone, I love people so deeply. So when people hurt me, I like process it and I hold on to it and I don't let it go. And so I was like ashamed of like relationships that fell apart, and it just affected me not wanting to get to know other people.
Yeah.
But now I'm like stepping out of that shame of that and allowing myself to be free from it and welcoming new friends, welcoming, other people in my circle that can actually, add something to my life.
So I talked about it in therapy, and a lot of my shame really comes from the food I eat, or how much time I'm not working, how much time I'm not spending with my family and friends. And my therapist, she really held up a mirror to me and was like, look, shame it's a helpful emotion, right? It can kind of help you, maneuver, right, and go in the direction in which you want to go. But I want you to do something with that. She said, I want you to, number one, personify shame, like make it a character in your life and ask yourself, would you hang out with that person? But then also she actually encouraged me to create content around it because she knows like this is my medium. This is how I use my pain and turn it into, what do they say? I guess power.
How can we begin to sort of climb out of or escape shame?
Shame. The biggest symptom of shame is silence. That's typically what we do with shame. We don't talk about what we are feeling. We are so worried about how it's going to be viewed by other people. We're so worried about being rejected, misunderstood, judged, that we literally don't say anything about it. So the biggest two antidotes to shame are speaking about it, not silencing yourself, and self-compassion, right? Allowing yourself to be flawed, allowing yourself to be human, allowing yourself to recover from things. Those are the two ways to absolutely flip shame on its head, but they also require a lot of effort because we're not taught to really be self-compassionate. We're not taught to say the things out loud. So what we need to do is kind of turn that narrative around and start saying these things out loud.
Things you're thinking about when you're 30, 31, 32 that I'm not necessarily thinking about as a 27-year-old, but I'm like, well, maybe I'll be ahead of the game if I just do this now. And it's like a constant like rat race. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And then I hear, my older friends speak about that and they're just like, girl, please calm down. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm calm, I'm good. So you're doing great. This is okay, you're doing great. Like, just calm down. So yeah.
And I really just had to be kind to myself and just trust my own timeline, because what I'm supposed to have is the universe and God is gonna provide it to me anyway. Mm-hmm. But not to adopt other people's life situations, because that may not happen for me. Somebody might be 39 and just getting married for the first time, that's still an accomplishment. Buying a house at 55, that's still an accomplishment. If you dropped out of school and you went back at 49, that's still an accomplishment. Just not being a slave to other people's experiences and not being, anxious about anything. But just God will provide it.
It seems like in all of this, it comes down to really accepting our own journey, everything about it, what we've been through, what we're gonna go through, where we're at now. I'm just grateful that you all had this conversation, because I think about myself at 22 and how I probably would have just had a much easier life if I would have known these things. But I think that now I can say that that's why I went through those things, so that I can have this conversation with y'all. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. This is awesome. Yes.
You're gonna make mistakes. It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be an ugly ride, but you need to feel every bump, feel every little bit of turbulence that comes with it, and go through it, because what you learn coming on the other side, you couldn't learn that lesson any other kind of way. So don't be afraid, or don't go with the fear. Fear never goes away. You're always gonna have it. So the best thing to do is just to grab it by the hand and be like, look, girl, we going through this together. And don't worry about what other people think, and don't please other people. Kind of try to align and hone in on the things that you want to do those things, and stay true to yourself at all times.